Welcome to Tech Solutions Hub, your trusted source for assistive technology. Empowering accessibility, innovating for a better tomorrow. Explore our tutorials, product reviews, and expert insights. Learn how to harness assistive tech for independence. Connect with us. Subscribe for latest updates. Hit the notification bell. And join our community on social media. Breaking barriers, one solution at a time.
The instrumental for this video is provided by InnerSanctum Entertainment Ltd.
Hi friends, we are going to do this special demo broadcast on how you can get the PPK file for Read More. That is to say, for those of us who are having Read More issues when reading our articles or stories on the Android platform, that's on WhatsApp. So this is what you do to get the Read More. We are looking for a particular Read More PPK file. You head to your G-Show settings and then move to download resources. Let's swipe.
Extensions, tools, download additional resources.
Download additional resources. That's where you go to. You click on it.
Download additional resources.
And when on your download additional resources, you swipe to you hear extensions.
Downloaded resources. GitHub, Visual Plus, application, sound scheme, gesture scheme, per application gesture hotkey scheme, per application hotkeys extensions.
Click on extensions.
Extensions.
And then there will be an edit field where you can type.
Extensions. Enter keyword text box.
As you swipe, and then once you swipe again, it will say enter keyword text box. Click on the enter keyword, and then you now type Read More. You can put it in maybe capital letter R and capital M, or you just type it like that. Let me just type it. R E A
S D
Read
space read
More
N M O D R more E more.
So let me swipe backwards and forward.
Extensions. Read More text box. Editing.
So it's said Read More. So a lot of PPK file format extensions will pop up here, which has the name Read More. We are looking for a particular Read More PPK file. So let's swipe. When we get there, I'll let you guys know.
All button. More options button. Read More by archwither.ppk.
That is one PPK file.
Read More by Applecheck Cooper extension Applecheck 765n.ppk.
That's another, but we are not looking for this.
Read More by Nitin Cooper extension Particular 22n.ppk.
We are not looking for this.
Read More by Shabana extensions with Farhan.ppk.
Keep swiping forward.
Read More by Humor 1jan.ppk. Read More extension by Shoaib Ansari Particular n.ppk. Read More in Multiple Message 2021. Shiva. Read More in Multiple Message 1000in.ppk. Read More v2.0 Hafiz Abdullah n.ppk.
Okay, Read More v2.0 by Hafiz Abdullah n ppk. That's what you would swipe to. Once you are on that, you click on it.
Read More v2.0 Hafiz Abdullah n.ppk.
But I already have it downloaded on my phone, so it might just say override or something.
Read More v2 Hafiz Abdullah 2023 0. Read More v2 download button.
You swipe backwards after clicking on it, and then it's a download button. Let's see.
Please wait. Read More v2. Override plugins. Read More v2.0.
Okay, you heard it, override plugin. So I wouldn't be downloading it, but if I have to override it, so if I want to override it, I'll just
override OK button.
swipe to OK button, then click on it.
Extension.
New notification from Jishuo Plus successfully imported.
So it's been it has overridden the previous one I had, so it will still be the same thing. Just for the sake of this demo, that's why I'm doing that. So we continue with that. So that's how you get your Read More downloaded. All right, guys, and let's quickly go straight to the demo on the Read More stuff. Now I'm going to launch my Jishuo Plus. That is the Jishuo settings.
Main menu. Main menu. Jishuo settings. Jishuo Plus. 20 million.
I'm going to operations.
Tap to join our general settings. TTS settings. Feed operation settings.
Operation settings. Click on operation settings. And then I'm going to look for custom settings.
Gesture scheme custom. Gesture scheme settings custom. Shortcut key settings. Gesture scheme settings custom.
Gesture scheme settings. That is custom. Click on that.
Custom.
And then I'm going to look for a gesture which I can use to assign my Read More breaks.
Swipe up, then down, next focusable. Swipe down,
I'm going to be swiping
swipe right, then up, swipe right, then
and
swipe up, then
probably
swipe up,
sliding
then
through.
right, swipe down, then left, swipe down, then right, single tap, double tap with triple tap with 2 fingers, current time function. Single tap with 3, double tap with 3, triple tap with 3, swipe up with 3 fingers, home screen default. Swipe down with 3, swipe left with, swipe right with, swipe up with 4, swipe down with 4 fingers, swipe left with 4 fingers, swipe right with 4 fingers, double tap, single tap with 4 fingers, no command, double tap with 4 fingers, reading mode default. Triple tap with 4 fingers, no double tap and hold with 2 fingers, no command default.
Okay, so for this demo, I'm going to be using double tap and hold with 2 fingers. So I will click on this. Let me go back and then forth again.
Triple tap with 4 fingers, double tap and hold with 2 fingers, no command default.
There is no command, so I'm going to just click on this.
Double
And
tap and hold with 2 fingers.
I will swipe forward until I hear something like this.
Double tap and hold, default checked. No command unchecked. Plugins unchecked.
Plugins. ETI Eloquence calls it plugins. Then I'm going to click on this.
Plugins.
And I'm going to look for that Read More PPK file I sent.
Backup Jishuo settings 4. 5. Advanced voice recorder. All-in-one social media downloader. Any language to any language. Auto speaker v1.0. Copy last spoken item. History.son. Read More v2.0.
So this is what I'm looking for. Read More v2.0. I click on it.
Double tap and hold with 2 fingers.
I have a lot of PPK files there. So I'm going to now look for a lengthy post.
Home button. Tap and hold.
Let me back it so it can say save.
Operation settings.
New
Gesture scheme
notification
settings
from
custom.
Jishuo Plus saved.
So you need to save it. Now let me go to WhatsApp
Home screen 1 of 4. Reader. WhatsApp.
and check if I can get a very good
WhatsApp. Unread.
post.
Archived. Charlie. Ask Meta AI or search. WhatsApp. State of the nation. State of the nation. Accessibility for state of the nation. State of the nation. 12:40 p.m. effective. Is there really hope for the Nigerian?
Let me just check
Second part. I was kidnapped on April 12th. Past 5 unread messages. Read more link. Maybe Elita Concept Innovations plus 2 profile picture for maybe. Today I faced death twice in one night, but God showed mercy. This is my story of survival. Profile picture for maybe Elita Concept Innovations plus 2.
This story has 2 parts. The story has 2 parts, and I'm going to be using one particular part for this demo, and that is the first part. So I'm going to swipe backward to the story. It has read more too.
Maybe Elita Concept Read more link.
So I'm going to swipe back to the story itself, not the read more.
Maybe Elita Concept profile picture for me. Today I faced death twice in one night, but
Now I'm going to apply my gesture, that is double tap and hold with 2 fingers.
I received a call that my mom had passed, so I rushed. Mom present more options. Copy.
New notification from
I
WhatsApp
faced death twice
message.
in one night,
New
but God showed
notification
mercy.
from
This is my
Android
story of
system
survival,
Jishuo Plus
resilience, and
pasted
faith.
from your
My family
clipboard.
is based in Aka, while I stay in Abuja. I received a call that
Now,
my mom had passed, so I rushed.
We had an interruption while I was doing it. It said that although it automatically starts reading after you've double tap or you've applied your gesture. If you are the type of person that use 2 different, you have a primary screen reader and a secondary screen reader. The secondary screen reader will tell you this message has been copied and pasted to your clipboard. That is your phone's clipboard. But don't worry, you can just swipe back to it and
I faced death twice in one night.
Listen.
God showed mercy. This is my story of survival, resilience, and faith. My family is based in Akka, while I stay in Abuja. I received a call that my mom had passed, so I rushed down to Akka in Anambra State for her burial, as the first son in her husband. After the burial, I stayed around for my siblings trying to put things in order, before going back to Abj. On April 12, 2024, I was returning with two of my friends, Emmanuel and Ilo, who came to see me since it had been a long time we saw Dot that night. We went to Ibiza, and then spent time with gangs in Akka. Eventually, I told them it was getting late, and we should head home, because I was supposed to drop Emmanuel off at his place. However, he changed his mind and decided to spend the night at my house with Ilo in the car. When we arrived at my gate around after 10 p.m., I parked outside, which is my usual spot for easier departures. After I parked, my friends got out of the car. As we were chatting and urinating before going inside, I suddenly heard a low voice say, "Stand where you are." About 6 men with guns surrounded us. 3 approached me with pump-action rifles and pistols, one of whom was wearing a ski mask. It seemed they had been waiting for us. Sensing danger, I quickly threw my phone away under my car and tossed my car key into the bushes, remembering that my car wasn't locked. I pressed the lock button before throwing the key. The group split up. 3 approached me, while the others confronted my friends, demanding that we lie down and not look. The 3 surrounding me began beating me and asked if I was the one driving. They demanded for my car key and phone. I told them my phone was in the car. They searched for the car key in the bushes and found it, handing it to 2 of their men who drove off with my car. As I saw their own car approaching a red saloon car, they asked me again if I was the one driving, while hitting me and ordering me to stand up and follow TH. And without looking, they warned that if I acted funny, they would shoot me. They made my 2 friends lie down in front of my gate, took a phone from one of them, and blindfolded me. They hit me and forced me into the back seat of their car, with 2 men sitting beside me, one on my left hitting my head, and the other on my right, still pointing a gun at me. I tried to stay calm. The driver, a huge man, and another person in the front passenger seat began driving away. They kept demanding my phone, which I insisted was in my car the other of their gang members left with. They called their gang member to check if my phone was there, but they didn't find it. I suggested to them that it might be in the glove compartment, but when they checked, it wasn't there. I told them maybe one of my friends had it since we had been playing music with it. They stopped the car and sent 2 men back to my gate to check, but they returned empty-handed, because my friends had run into my compound and locked the gate when I was taken. Meanwhile, they robbed some people on the street, taking their phones, including an iPhone 14 Pro Max and an iPhone 12 Pro Max from a guy and his girlfriend who were enjoying fresh air outside their gate, along with other Android devices, making them write down their passcodes. While I was in the car with the other 2 men, after a while, they returned and tried to drive out of the street. They didn't know the way, so they were calling a member for directions, while removing all my valuables and still asking for my phone. They threatened to kill me if I didn't produce it. I suggested they call my number, which I gave them. One of them dialed it, but someone answered who was not their gang member. They hung up angrily, insisting it wasn't one of theirs. I guessed it was my kid bro who picked up the call, but I told them it was their gang member and I don't recognize the voice. They accused me of trying to outsmart them and threatened to kill me. I asked why I should risk my life for my phone when I had already given up my car and other valuables. They responded rudely, hitting me with their guns. They didn't talk much about money. They were just driving me around, and I had no idea where they were taking me since I was blindfolded. One of them, sitting to my left, quietly said, "We've been ordered to kill you, but if you provide 10 million naira now, we might spare your life." I told him, "Diamond, I don't have that kind of cash. I only came to Akka from Abuja for my mom's burial. I don't have now, just a flash drive with some coins in the car they took." They hissed at me, saying I wasn't serious, and that they would kill me. They continued to drive, while discussing how they regularly killed people, and where they would dispose of me. I thought they were just talking, hoping it would end in a ransom, since they were young boys speaking Igbo. They told me I would die that night, since I thought I was smart. I tried to plead for my life, but they insisted they would kill me. They asked if I was a member of Egypt, which I disagreed, saying I was just a businessman. The driver seemed especially angry, and wanted to kill me for no reason. They continued discussing where to kill me. I kept praying in my heart, calling on God. After almost an hour of driving around, they stopped and told me this was where I would die. They parked their car and ordered me to come out, which I did calmly. They removed my blindfold. It was on a quiet, dark highway, only the sound of birds. Guess it was around midnight, but I had been captured around past 10 p.m. They instructed me not to look at them, so I wouldn't know who killed me even in spirit. They made me lie face down in the bushes beside the expressway. The driver, who was quite large, instructed one of them to shoot me in the head. He kept shouting, "Shoot him for head. Shoot him for head." They all got out, and one of them kindly asked me to say my last prayer, which I did. I remained calm as they pointed guns at me, lying there and waiting to be killed as the driver shouted where to shoot me, speaking their slang. Then they shot me in the head and drove off. I'm guessing it was the hot-headed one with the pistol. I recognized his voice before they pulled the trigger. I heard a gunshot that deafened my ears, and they drove off immediately. Thinking I was dead, I lay still, even believing I had died. After a few minutes, I touched myself and realized I was still alive, but bleeding from my head. The bullet had missed my skull. I don't know how, but it hit the right part of my head, just cutting my flesh and part of my ear. I was still alive but bleeding, and I waited a little to ensure they were gone. Before I stood up, the painful ringing in my ears overwhelming. It was the middle of a lonely highway. Just cars were passing, no houses nearby, looking like the expressway to Enugu, because the road was wide. I tried to wave down cars for help, but none stopped. After about 20 minutes, a saloon car finally pulled over. I felt a rush of relief as I approached the vehicle, still holding my bleeding head and blood dripping on my shirt. I was about to narrate what happened to the driver, hoping for a lift to the nearest police station or a place where I could find help. However, as I got closer, I noticed they were having an argument in the car. Before I could say a word, someone got out from the back seat, pointing a gun at me again. "So, you never died?" It was too late for me to run. The person shot me immediately for the second time, and I fell to the ground. He was fast, and didn't give me a chance to process it. I jumped just before the shot, which hit my waist instead of my belly, paralyzing me below the waist. It felt like a thunderstruck. As I lay there on the highway, he came close, still pointing the gun at me, but I lay still, praying in my mind, "Don't shoot again." My blood was everywhere, and he confirmed I was dead, before rushing back T. Oh, the car and driving off, leaving me in my pool of blood around 1 a.m. I lay there in agony, thinking I was going to die. I asked myself why they had to shoot me again. I wasn't a threat anymore. Why shoot me again? That question echoed in my mind. Cars continued to pass without stopping, avoiding my body in the middle of the road. I waved my hands for help as they drove by, but none stopped. I couldn't move any part of my body except my hands. Over 30 cars passed without anyone stopping. I realized no help was coming. My motionless body lay in the middle of the road. After some time, I tried shaking my legs, and to my surprise, they moved. I was relieved, because I thought they were numb. I decided to move my body out of the road. I attempted to stand, but fell because the bullet passed through my hip. Only my flesh on the right was holding it. I could feel the pain. The other side was swollen. I wasn't sure how bad it was, but all my waist was on fire. Some drivers nearly ran over me, forcing me to move my body away from the center of the highway toward the pavements that divide the road. That night was brutal. I lay there, bleeding and in pain, for about 2 hours, knowing that help wasn't coming. I felt sure I was going to die. As I lay there helpless, my life flashed before me. I thought about my family, and how I had come to Aga to bury my mom. Now I will be buried. I feared for my siblings, who depended on me, and I called on God for help. Only the sounds of birds and the occasional passing car broke the silence, and I realized no human was coming to help me. I called on my late parents, especially my sweet mom, telling her I was coming, because I was so tired. My vision blurred, my throat was dry, and I was too exhausted to wave. I prayed, accepting my fate, gave my life to Christ again, and asked him to accept my soul. Looking up, I saw only darkness, no hope anywhere, just my blood-soaked body. I was becoming weaker, dizzy, and had a strong urge to sleep. Knowing that if I closed my eyes, all the agony would go away, so I decided to let go, imagining my friends finding my body in the morning and taking me to the morgue. I imagined being buried beside my mom, and how heartbroken my friends and siblings would be. But still, no help came. I could only guess the time, but I knew the night was long, and daybreak was far off. Just as I was about to close my eyes and accept my death, I saw a torchlight in the distance, about 500 meters away. Hope surged back into me. I knew I could get help, if I could reach the light, but I was weak. How can I move my motionless body with damaged waist? I tried to stand, despite the pain in my waist. I moved to the pavement divider, trying to pull myself up, but I fell, hitting my waist painfully on the ground. I tried again, holding onto the pavement, moving slowly toward the light, but the pain was too much, and I fell again. Finally, I decided to crawl toward it, pushing my body along the rough highway surface with only my elbows and arms. I kept low. Whenever I spotted a car, I lay flat, pretending to be dead, hoping they wouldn't come back and shoot me a third time. The friction against the rough ground gave me cuts, and my arms began to bleed, but I kept moving. Eventually, I reached there, and it was Aluminum Company near the highway, and I began shouting for help. I was so cold, shivering, and very thirsty. I kept calling out, "Help! I need a hospital." After about 30 minutes, they pointed a torchlight toward me, and a few men came out, cocking their guns around 4 armed men. Terrified, I started screaming, "Don't shoot." They turned out to be soldiers stationed at the Aluminum Company for security. When they approached me, they asked what happened. I explained that I'd been shot and needed to go to a hospital, or they could try to remove the bullet from my waist, as I could feel it swollen. They asked if I was the gunshots they had heard hours earlier. I said yes, and they were. Surprised I was still alive. I pleaded with them to take me to a hospital, but they couldn't. They tried to flag down passing cars for me, but none stopped. The only help they could offer was to let me use their phone to call someone. I only knew 2 numbers by heart, mine and my mom's. I called my number, and my sister answered, her voice full of fear. She already knew I'd been kidnapped. I calmly told her I'd been shot and was near the Enugu Expressway, but the soldiers corrected me, saying I was close to Iberium Junction. I asked her to call my friends, Bucci and others, but their numbers were off. The soldiers told her to have them come quickly, as I might not survive much longer. Despite her fear, my sister managed to contact my friends, arranging for them to pick me up. They arrived around 3 a.m. that night and called me multiple hospitals, but they turned down. One hospital agreed to try saving my life. We arrived to the hospital around 4 a.m., and I watched the time, preparing to pass on some final messages to my last, born if I didn't make it, cause I also thought I might die on the way. The first hospital asked for a police report, which my friends obtained from the station for 20,000 naira after some hours. I was in pain all night, and they only placed a bandage around my waist where I'd been shot. The pain became unbearable, and I felt myself slipping into unconsciousness, overwhelmed by needed, as they lacked electricity and had no fuel for the generator to perform a scan. By 6 a.m., they took me to a scan center in the same hospital and left me there. The doctor wasn't giving me necessary attention, and the person with the generator key was nowhere to be found. My friends, frustrated by the lack of urgency, decided to transfer me to another hospital, a TGH hospital. There, around 9 a.m., I finally received proper treatment. The staff worked to stabilize me, give me blood, and ease my pain, while my friends did everything they could to save my life.
So that's the story. I had to let it read to the end, just to demonstrate how good the plugin is. So when you're done reading, there is a close button.
Close button.
And then you click on it.
Message text box.
And that's it. You've been able to customize a plugin for your Read More PPK file. So good luck as you guys give it a try.
Before you go, subscribe to Tech Solutions Hub for more useful contents like this.